is that's what the hidden factor is. To allow for that spontaneity in nature is the very fundamental phenomenon. Because what's happening now, you can see that the universe is expanding because it has the mass, the mass in the form of matter can convert at its own into energy according to E is equal to mc square. Now that degree of freedom which causes a particle to become a wave, which is energy, and wave to become a particle, if you allow that, you find that you can predict all the different states of the universe which you see through, as you see through the Hubble telescope. At different distances, at different sizes, you can see different degrees of mass and energy.
Do you think there's equilibrium, like in a chemical reaction, between E equals mc squared? That it either a reaction goes in the one way one time or one in the other, or is it in balance somehow?
Exactly. It's always balanced. That E is equal to mc square is always true. But how much is E and m? It allows for infinite number of E's and m's, so long as it satisfies the equation. And that's the catch. The current theories do not allow that. For example, the current theories would say there is a certain mass of the universe or which is always there. Does not allow it to convert it to energy, because they say, hey, that's a ghostly phenomena. That's like saying ghost in the atom. You know, that's the famous phrase is called ghost in the atom. Means science does not recognize a spontaneity within nature. It has to be a ghost in terms of science for that to happen. So they say there's no ghost. So it's all no if and but. This is it. And now, coming back to the original question, now this is the scientific basis, but now how does it show purpose in the universe? The purpose is shown that when the universe is in the form of the mass or the matter, it has a time clock running in it. The space and time are real entities for a mass. As it becomes energy, the time clock stops. It becomes totally energy. There's no more time. Space and time are dilated to zero. Means now you have an eternal. Whatever is left, the energy is eternal and is omnipresent. Means space has all become uniform. It's collapsed to zero. Means there's no distance. You can't measure any more distance in it. It's all the same. Uniform, omnipresent in a way. And eternal, means there's no clock running. That means that state does not know that even time exists.
Right. It always has been and it always will be.
Exactly. So where does the purpose come from? The purpose comes from having overcome, let's say, the curse of time. Time was a curse in a state of being matter, because matter is inflicted with time, it is inflicted with entropy, because it has a boundary. So any action reaction that occurs across the boundary of matter creates entropy.
It wears down after a while.
Exactly. So entropy means uncertainty, chaos, and increasing complexity. So the creation has been made. It's beautiful. You know, look at how wonderful it is. The creation of matter exists so that we could recognize that in the state of matter there is time, this means birth and death. There is entropy, means suffering, and there is death, because everything of matter degenerates over time. The sun will go away, the earths will go away over time, the galaxies will go away, they were born. So everything changes over time. Nothing is permanent. So the purpose lies in the fact that so long as any entity in the universe is in the state of matter which is bounded in space of time, is going to be inflicted with time, means birth, death, entropy, means suffering, chaos, increasing complexity, and the worst of all, non-convergence, this is not going anywhere. It is going into utter chaos and complexity. It has no destination. The only destination is utter confusion, utter complexity,
Yeah, disassociation, yeah.
and complete oblivion. So that tells now the nature has given us to see all these phenomena in creation of matter. But relativity, we would not know of eternity unless we knew the temporality. If there was no time, eternity has no meaning.
That's true.
If there is no distance, omnipresence has no meaning. So the nature has beautifully created this matter and the material universe for us and human beings, which can span study the matter and its properties and the energy and its properties. The vacuum we know we call it nothing, but it has a lot of energy, we know, and it has no space and time in it. There's no clock running in the empty space, so we know it. So human being can now see on one side, through the matter study of matter, is something called mass or matter inflicted with time, entropy, uncertainty, suffering, and going into an utter chaos at the end. And it has to finish. It has to be go to demise.
But consciousness on the opposite is always increasing and redefining itself.
Exactly. On the other hand, consciousness is pure kinetic energy. It's all motion. It's always there. It was never born, never died, no clock. So it tells you, for anybody of even little intelligence can see the purpose. This creation has been done to see that where you are to be.
So, in your theory that consciousness and the universe are synonymous, and God.
The universe as a whole is nothing but the same energy. Even the matter that has come out is condensed out of it. So there is no difference between the two. It's the same overall energy which appears in different forms, and it is the observer to look at. If we focus entirely on matter, that's all we see, and that's where we lose the purpose. So when a scientist, or an orthodox scientist, I would say, there are other scientists who have the vision beyond the orthodox pure materialism, and they will tell you that there is unique purpose in the universe. This whole, the way the nature works, it is there for a purpose. But when we look at it purely in a materialistic, a reductionistic way, by pure argument, we cannot reach that conclusion, because we limit our vision to a very subset of reality, which is afflicted with space, time, and matter.